Hey guys, what's cracking? What is crack-a-lacking? Somebody give me a 5 for 5 and let's see if we've got it going here. And we'll get into it if we do. Yeah. So let's go back here for a second. Let me pop that out. I know you guys can see this, but that's okay. That is okay. Right? Okay. So what do we got going on, guys? Please share this out real quick. I do want to. Oh wow! Holy crap! You guys see that? We just got hit with another X flare. Oh my gosh! Wow! That is was unexpected. I'm adding that to the thing here. So give me 1 second, guys. Going live now. Another X flare just happened. Wow. We've been talking about this. This is this, depending on where that flare is at, this could get really interesting really quick. It's just gonna be like that, you know. So I do want to share this out just really quick, like, guys. If you guys could share this out. This is this actually is ended up being probably just a little bit more intense than what I intended it to be. Guys, I want you to first look at this. Look at that. That is crazy. That is a very active area on the sun, and it is it's most definitely really active right now. It is it's what I would consider a hyperactive area. It's blasting flares at all times. It's and they're not like really small ones either. Not all of them anyway. I don't know where that the most recent X flare. Not sure where that came from yet. I tell you what, we'll look at it right here on Goes while I'm sending out these notifications. Sorry guys, it's Sunday. We had an ice cream social today, and for my daughter at the school, and I literally just rolled right in here and did this for you guys. I wanted to give you guys an update because we definitely got some stuff going on here. So that is just yeah. Oh, thank you for putting that in there, whoever did that. Trinity, did you do that for me, or somebody did? Hope, yeah, I think. Nope, okay. Yeah, it's getting a little busy, is what I'm trying to say here. I got two more notifications to send out, guys. I am so sorry. I didn't mean to start like this. I'm trying to get all the space filler out at first, just to respect your guys' time here. And so I'm just going to do that right now. I'm going to send out one more notification, and I'll be done with that. So, yeah. Okay, let's do that. Oh, I set 2 links there. So, yeah, so did you guys see where the X flare is at? I haven't even looked yet. Looks like we had an eruption right there, but that didn't look like no X flare. It may not be showing up on these the GOES system yet, or SDO. I could be wrong, but we're going to check it out, guys. This is very interesting. I wasn't expecting to see that. So you guys are going to be able to run this down with me, okay? So I'll just say it like that. Now, okay. Now what we're going to do here, guys, is I do want to one more thing, guys. Gosh, I need to quit apologizing. I know that bugs you guys, but I feel bad when I don't get this off and going just exactly the way I wanted to and the way you guys deserve. I'm trying to do the best I can, guys. I'm trying to up my game a little bit, and it just doesn't seem to be. Tonight is just a little hectic for me, I guess. If that makes any sense. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do it like that. Now, we already had 3 other X flares. Okay? Now, I want to say this too. Tamitha Scove did an awesome 10-minute video, kind of laying out where those X flares were at. And I talked to you guys a little bit yesterday about the solar orbiter. That's a satellite that's actually on the backside of the sun right now, and it was able to see those X flares that were popping. Okay, so with that being said, there was 3 of them back there, and one of them most definitely was the strongest one of the cycle. It was an X14. I believe there was an X11 and an X11 class flare. Now this one here looks about like an X1 or 2. So, and those areas on the backside of the sun, guys, are rotating in right now. They're going to be rotating in to face us. So not only do we have this gigantic one right here, we got more coming. This is not going to slow down. The only way that that's going to slow down is something just drastically changes. And I will say this too. You know, you guys will hear me say energy in means energy out. And that's 100% true. So when that happens, a lot of times things will stable out. It's kind of like when you're looking at earthquakes. If you see some of that pressure get released because you don't want to have you don't want to have an area with no quakes at all. If you live on a fault line, you want to see some small quakes constantly, really, because that's the way it relieves the pressure. So you really start looking really, really hard when those small quakes stop, because then you're waiting on a big one. And you know, I don't necessarily know if we want to. Yeah, that's just something. But it's very similar with CMEs and solar flares. A lot of times you'll get a big flare or a big CME will bust off the sun, and it will, you know, stabilize the whole area. So that's just, you know, that's what I'll say. Now, here at the beginning, guys, I'm going to be doing a members only stream tomorrow. I'm probably going to do it right around 6 o'clock, 6 or 7. So members, turn your notifications on, please. Anybody else who wants to be a member, please join up. We're going to have us a ball over there. We always have fun. And anybody who's been gifting memberships, that's awesome. And I'm probably going to gift one out tonight, okay? I'll let you guys know before I do that. That way you guys can get active in the chat. And because the algorithm will give that membership to somebody that is the most active. That's how it works, okay? I don't just get to pick and choose. So, yeah. So please join the memberships if you're interested in that. We have a really good time. I haven't done one in like 2 weeks. Well, it's going on 3 now. And the goal is to do it once a week. And sometimes I do it more than that. I've done a couple before. Last time Hilly was with me. But anyway, okay. So we got this X-Flare. And this just happened. Okay, so we got R3 radio blackouts right now. Well, R2, I think, is what we were looking at, because the flare is on the downside already. Okay, see how it's already tapering off? I would call that fairly impulsive, because it's not really hanging on to be like long duration. But we're going to go see if we can't find this on some of the images, on SDO especially. But as we see that, so our friends over there across the pond in Australia, Aussie! And over here in you know, Japan, Eastern Asia, Vietnam, Philippines, all these countries over here, they probably experienced some sort of a radio blackout. And they tend to last close to an hour when that happens. And we're talking about like ham radio operators and stuff like that. First responders and mariners, a lot of mariners use that kind of frequency to communicate. So when we get these flares, it disrupts it. And that's fairly important. You know, if one of your family members is lying on the floor having a heart attack, you don't want somebody to not have communication right away, right? So that's kind of one of the reasons. And plus, people that fly, they don't like them to... matter of fact, I think the FAA limits the amount of hours that flight crew and pilots can fly high latitudes close to the poles during certain solar conditions. It's just like taking an x-ray, guys. And if you're pregnant, you don't want that. That is something that they really frown upon now. And for good reason, because it does affect that. Okay? So yeah, we just had this X-flare, but I'm gonna show you guys what was forecasted here. 3 days of it, guys. Look at this. I've not seen a forecast like this in a very long time. Now, yesterday, thank you, Deep Quake. Appreciate you, brother. We'll stop halfway and I'll jump in there and tell everybody thanks again. Thank you, guys. Thank you, man. I really do appreciate that. whoever gets those, guys, please tell him thanks, okay? Guys, people reach in their own pocket and do that, and I don't take that lightly. I'm so humbled each and every time that somebody would even want to do that for me, to listen to what this old hillbilly has to say. You know what I mean? But anyway, so we got 3 days of geomagnetic storms on the way. And it's going to start later today. At least they're forecasting that. Now, we're talking about lower level at first. And this is exactly what I said yesterday. I'm glad that, that the forecast is kind of lining up with what I said. It does give me a little bit more confidence. And that's something I don't do. For anybody that's new here, I don't forecast. I nowcast. I will tell you what the conditions are. I don't like going, above what I think I am decent at getting across. Okay? I don't want to just throw a bunch of information at you and just get it wrong. And that's why I don't. And frankly, when we're talking about CMEs, guys, we got 2 to 3 days almost every time before those things hit us. So it's almost irresponsible at some level when people jump right out here and start making these big, gigantic claims from the get. I like to think that they don't know what they're doing when they scare people like that. Because if they do know that they're doing that, that makes them even more disgusting, in my opinion. So hopefully it's the previous of that, right? So you'll never see me do that. I've done it once or twice way back in the day before I had any clue what was going on. And now I see my mistakes in that, and I changed like immediately when that happened, when I realized what I was doing. So, also, I take criticism very well, guys. So if you guys got criticisms like me squirreling all the time, sometimes I don't realize I'm doing it till my live stream is over. And I know I'm kind of squirreling a little bit here, but I want you guys to know this. This is intentional. Okay? Call me out on that. Say, hey, put it in the comment section, something. Sometimes I don't realize I'm doing it because I don't go back and re-watch everything I do. I personally don't like watching my own stuff. It's kind of weird. But anyway, just call me out on it. And people do. And usually when they're respectful, I let them know. Thank you. If it's disrespectful, I'll leave the comment there, unless it's vulgar. But I won't comment back to it. You just don't be disrespectful. That's all I ask. Okay. So we got the three days here. And they are now, look, check it out. They raised that to G3. And if you remember yesterday, I was telling you, if I had to guess, it would be right around a G2 to a G3. That's the forecasting that they're giving us now for the 30th. Now, we got multiple solar eruptions coming, okay? And we've been talking about this now for 4 or 5 days. So please share all this out to people and let them know what's going on. Just so they can be aware. Not because something bad might happen. Let them be aware so they can learn. This stuff right here is a great backdrop to get people to understand what space weather is. When stuff like this happens in mainstream media, like your local news or even the national news, they'll start talking about stuff like this. Like for instance, the solar eclipse that we had earlier this year, April 8th. Nobody would have even known that was going on unless the mainstream media started talking about it. We would have known because that's what we do here, right? We talk about stuff like that. But in those cases, we're able to teach people, and they'll be able to learn why things are acting the way that they are. So, but anyway, yeah. Hey, Robert, you can criticize me, man, but no vulgarity or like that, brother. I'm not really bullshitting either. Just so you know, I'm reading your comment there. That's what it said. I try not to cuss, but I am not doing that. I'm not just BSing. I'm telling you guys this for a reason. So you guys understand that's why. So anyway, let's go take a look and see if we can't figure out where this new X-flare happened. Okay. Let's go to, this is SDO, right? And first off, I guess I should show you where the satellite's at. A lot of people don't know. It's in geosynchronistic orbit, it's over the same part of our planet at all times. Okay? Geosynchronistic means geo-Earth. Synchronistic obviously means in sync with Earth. So it stays over this part of our planet at all times. And it orbits the Earth at 15 degrees an hour, which means that's the same speed that we are rotating on our axis. Okay? So, but it turns its eye to keep its eye on the sun at all times. Right now, we are in what's called SDO eclipse season. What that means is the Earth will pass between the satellite and the sun. It'll eclipse it. And it does it for a number of days, twice a year. And every once in a while, we'll actually catch the moon or something like that coming through there too. So we'll catch those every once in a while, eclipsing it also. So depending on what time of year and where we're at, right? So anyway, so we are on Sunday the 28th here. Let's go ahead and we'll go to the 94 angstrom. This is extreme ultraviolet, and it's a part of the light spectrum our eyes can't see. So when we're looking at this, they assign it a color. It's not really necessarily this color, but it's looking at a specific gas. And what we're looking at here, that was not the one that just happened. Neither was that. Okay, so I'll tell you what. Oh, wow, guys. Check that out. Oh, my gosh. You probably, guys, probably moving kind of faster. You probably didn't see it. Check this out. It happened right. You can't get more centered up for an X-flare. It is right in the Earth strike zone. Wow. It's been a while since I've seen an X-flare happen right there. That is something to see. That is amazing, honestly. And notice that's not fear. That's actually kind of a little bit of excitement, just to be honest with you. It's, yeah, you don't get much centered with that, guys. That is most definitely something that's, yeah. Yeah, the red aurora happens sometimes, guys, and the red aurora comes from the highly charged particles. They start intermingling with nitrogen molecules, okay, when we get hit with geomagnetic storms, and like what's going to happen here. And the nitrogen tends to hang out lower in our atmosphere. So it's important to know that because it's letting you know how deep that solar storm is really affecting everything. So when we see red ones, we know that the solar storm typically is just a little bit stronger than what would be normal. Normal aurora conditions. And obviously green's the most prevalent color when we're talking about aurora. Okay, so let's go here to teal. Right there. Okay, so this is another part of the light spectrum we can't see. Still the same satellite. Notice, I'm just going to push play and just watch all the flashes. I mean, things are just flaring everywhere. It's not just one spot on the sun. And what is significant is, and I think I showed you guys this yesterday. Remember I said I thought we had something blowing off on the backside? Because I was trying to figure out how, because we had those halo patterns. And I said, well, maybe that wasn't on the front side because I caught a little bit of a, I don't know, maybe like a filament or some plasma back here shooting off the sun that I didn't see on the other angstrom. Well, that actually ended up being what happened. That was one of those bigger X-class flares on the backside. There's an area on the sun that has fired an X14, an X11, and I think another spot on the backside fired an X7. And that's all within the last few days. So we have to really just, yeah, this is something to watch, okay? So there's your X flare. And guys, it's not an X flare because it looks like an X on this image, okay? That X pattern shows up if it's an X flare, M flare, C flare, whatever. That's just how the camera interprets what it looks like. It's a camera anomaly. And then you can go outside and go outside and look up at a street light and squint your eyes a little bit. You can do the same thing. You can make that look just about like anything you used to do, right? When I was a kid, I used to go in the back of the car with my mom and my dad, and we go driving at night or whatever because, you know, we were poor folk. We didn't have nothing else to do. Didn't have a whole lot of money to do anything else. So, you know, and then driving by all the street lights, I used to play the game, you know, looking up at the street lights and squinting my eyes and stuff like that. It was just really cool. I remember doing that. But that's how I kind of look at that, you know. So this is very early on, so we're not going to have too much data on this. But that's a very photogenic for being right in the middle. So let's take a look at a different angstrom on that also, because I think it's going to be beneficial to see if it produced much of a CME. My guess is it probably did produce a CME, because it didn't look like an immediate impulsive, just like a little flash really quick. And again, we're not going to have too much data here, but check that out right there, guys. That's the backside. That's what's turning in to look at us here in just a couple days. Okay? So, yeah, I mean, that is something that we really need to pay attention to. See it lift off? Look at that. I mean, that's in the really, it's the perfect position to really get a good look at how a CME reacts when it erupts off the sun. That's not a filament. Doesn't look to be anyway. A filament actually is like, you know, these darker shadows. And we're looking at ionized helium. I know that one on the 304 angstrom. So we look at different gases so we can get different detail and different visual to look at. But look at that, guys. That's just crazy to me, man. You see how, why I'm not calling this a filament, you see how it kind of dips back in like here? Because it came from a center point. A filament drapes across, and it typically will lift off either on one end or in the middle. And when that happens, your anchor points are actually on the side. So it's more of an arc, right? So, but when you get a centralized eruption from a CME, it comes from one spot. Right there, like that. Hey, Shell Spells, good to see you. Good to see you in here in the live stream. Appreciate you. Gracie Gibb, what's up? Okay, so that's definitely a big eruption right there. Okay, that's not coming at us though. We don't have to worry about that one until a couple days from now, and then we'll, you know, take a look at it. But notice all the little, well, I guess we could call them sun farts. We've been calling them that for a while now. I call them puffs or whatever. We see little shadows that puff around, and those are little CMEs. I don't want to call them little because I can't really say that, but at the same time, they're not gigantic. And I'll try to find one here for you. It's probably not going to be very hard. They're happening a lot. Okay, well, so there's the X flare on the 304. We're just going to skip over, not really worry about getting one of those. I showed you guys those. It just looks like a little faded part on the image. But when stuff's happening that's going to hit us, right? And it's right in front of us, especially during solar max, it gets very difficult to forecast where the stuff is coming from, when it's going to hit, and how hard it's going to be, right? And one of the main reasons is because there's so much activity. And each, you know, depending on where the eruptions happen, they affect each other, especially as far as direction that they're traveling. And I'll explain here in just a second. But also, when stuff happens here on the sun, the images we got to look at, because we don't really have a side view anymore. We don't have stereo A, which is another satellite that we could view the sun from the side and get a partial backside look, right? So we can't tell that up-down direction. Well, we can and we can't. Just depends on where the things blow off at. But regardless, we've only got really one perspective to look at, and that's from where we're at right now, right? You go outside and look up, that's really how this satellite is looking at the sun. But we don't have that side view. So what happens is it makes it very difficult to forecast what direction it's going. And there's ways that they get it done, and I know a lot of those ways. But I'm not going to get into detail because it does get lengthy to talk about that. But just know that it's very hard to forecast, and hence, that's why I don't do it. I don't feel that I'm qualified to forecast out very far. I don't feel like I have the knowledge base to really be confident in that. But I will tell you I'm very confident in being able to tell you how these satellites work, what we're looking at, and what the models are trying to represent. And that gives us a really good base of what we're trying to do, right? So if I go like that, you can see that eruption right there, right? Now, but when the sun is camouflaged, I call it camouflaged. Because when you get an eruption here on the front, you don't have the blackness of space to give you a contrast. Okay? So if I pop off here, and guys, I am trying to get the space weather in. right at the beginning, just so you know. I could be in there talking in the chat. Matter of fact, I'm not even really looking at the chat right now. It's just something I can't. Yeah, guys, please please don't do the whole political thing in there, guys. I mean, as long as it stays respectful, but don't spam somebody's name. We don't need to be doing that. That's just, yeah. Anyway, I mean, I get it. People have their leanings, but it's okay. It's all good as long as it don't get disrespectful, but we don't usually, if you're spamming something over and over and over again, my mods will get it out of there. Anyway, so you got the sun itself being camouflaged for itself, for the eruptions. So it makes it hard to forecast. So when things happen on the side like that one did, we're able to get a better look at what it actually was doing, right? So during solar max, when things are coming at us, what are we going to be looking at? We're going to be looking at the sun. So it's going to be camouflage and stuff. So yeah, it makes it very, very difficult to get things 100% correct. And they do a fairly good job at getting us the right stuff. I can't imagine how hard that is, just to be honest. So let's take a look at the 211. And this is one I look at for like coronal holes and things like that. And we're able to see a shock wave go through the sun pretty easy on this also. Because you see a lot of the corona. Okay? So notice what happens when you get a pop here. You'll see the whole sun just, the atmosphere kind of peel back a little bit. Now, I want to show you guys something here. I want you guys to watch. You're not going to see an eruption on the front. I'll just show it to you instead of trying to explain it. Watch a flash. Right there. You see that? Did you see that flash? Okay. I'm going to bring it back. The whole image flashes. Watch. See that? You see the whole thing just kind of boop like that? Most likely, unless there was a small flare or something on the front side, and I guess there was that time. But sometimes when we see the whole sun flash like that, and we don't see like obvious source on the front side, that means there was probably a flare on the back side. And that we see that a lot. So that one, like those, that one right there definitely was not from something on the front. Okay, watch it flash. Flash, nothing. And then you get eruptions on the front. So that's probably one of those bigger X flares that was on the backside. Okay, now we're getting X flares on the front now. So I'm gonna back this up and we're gonna take a look at this X flare right now. Right. Okay, so you can see the atmosphere getting peeled back a little bit. But I will say this. I'm just going to reserve what I'm going to say until we get more data. But that was right in front of us. So I can confidently tell you any CME that was with that is coming at us. Okay? That is in too much of a center disk to miss us completely. You know, whether it was kind of fired at an angle, up, down, left, right, whatever. But you can see that, guys. So, and I'm not going to like try to individually show you each eruption right here, because I you know, even if I did that, the chances are we're going to get something wrong because there's so much going on. Now, this is LASCO C2. This is SOHO Observatory, right? This satellite right here. It's about 1 million miles closer to the sun than what we are. Now, if I come down here, this is a CME detector. So when it sees a CME, or it thinks it does, it highlights it. So that happened at 2348. So my guess is this is probably, let's check. Oh man, nope. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait. Okay, because that time frame does not line up. So that's about at 3 UTC right there when that happened. Well, I guess we could go over here to SDO and find out exactly. Or close enough to exact for what we need. Yep, right around 3. See it? 2:59 UTC. Now, if you're on Eastern Standard Time, that's a 4-hour difference between you and UTC time. Just to give you a reference. And I know you guys can get online and figure that out yourself, time zones and stuff like that. But the science community will typically use UTC. Okay, universal time. So we'll leave it at that. But that did happen right there. So this eruption here that it's trying to represent is not from the X flare. So I'm not sure exactly what this is trying to show us, but it did seem to think it picked up something here. I didn't really see a whole lot there, but you know, maybe I'm missing something. There's a good chance I am. But if we scroll down, check it out. Here's all the other eruptions. We can just keep going, look at them. I mean, there was a time where we didn't get a whole lot for like a whole day, and then it just started erupting everywhere. So yeah. Now let me I'm gonna take you to the 27th. Now they're saying that I believe this one here, because if you remember, this is where it became very hard to try to forecast, and even nowcast it got kind of a little hard because there was so much going on, right, all at once. So hey, Sean Carter, good to see you. Hey Paul, good to see you. DeGraff, how's it going, man? Ain't seen you in a minute. Hey Tiger's Eye. Kathy, aloha, girl. Okay, so this is kind of what's the proper word here? Asymmetrical, I guess. I guess that would probably be the best way to say it. You know, if you were to change your perspective, right? This blast, say instead of looking dead on, because remember this is a black occulter disc, and I'm not sure what color it actually is on the camera, but in this image it's black, but it is an actual physical disc to block the light of the corona of the sun, the main part of the sun, so we can get an image at all. The sun just puts out too much light, it would just overexpose everything. But we're looking at the sun straight on, right? So that's why that occulter disc matters. So if we see something, we need to, if we see a halo, what we call a halo, you know, right here, you see this energy? And it looks like a halo around the sun, right? So it's either going off the backside or it's coming right at us when we see that stuff. So we have to figure that out. Well, when I was doing this for you guys the other day, I told you guys this one was on the backside, and it ended up being correct. And the reason I told you that is, number one, I seen a little bit of what looked like almost a filament erupting back there. But there was, I believe it was either the X11 or the X14 flare that caused this one. Okay, so to change your perspective, instead of looking dead on, what if you were standing over here? What would that look like to you? Then you have that traditional halo signature, right? Because it would be going out equally around the occulter disc. This is going off to one side. And this is why I was telling you guys, even if it didn't go off the backside, most of this was going to miss Earth anyway. So, yeah, it's just kind of what I've learned from doing this. But as you can tell, it just blasted on out, and then check it out. Here's the other ones coming. See, this is where it gets hard to forecast. You got blast after blast after blast. The one I just showed you was on the backside. This one's on the front. How do we know that? Because we confirmed it by looking at SDO, which is this one. Okay? And typically it doesn't get this complicated, guys. It really doesn't, not normally. But in times during solar maximum, and we're getting these big blasts like right now, yeah. But then there's even another halo, right? Now, this is a difference image, okay? So sometimes you get what we call ghosting on these images. This is not a ghost image because it's showing up over here. This is not a difference image over here. You can still get ghosting over here too, but for what we're talking about here, that was not a ghosting image. That was another eruption. So there's two back-to-back halo eruptions right there. Actually, three if we were counting the one that was off the backside there. Hey, Linda. Oh, wow, I'm late. We'll have to catch the replay. That's okay. Hey, we just started a few minutes ago. Hang out. Hey, Renee, good to see you. Hey, Dan, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. All right, so we'll go on forward here. And again, it's just eruption after eruption after eruption. So let's do this. There was another eruption there that could be going at us. Now remember the time stamp here. I mean, it's always important to recognize where you're at in time there. So if I back that up to... Oh, also guys, I found out one of my friends I used to work with. She found out she had stage 1 cancer. If you could, throw some prayers just for Wage's world friend. If you would. Put a 1 in the chat for me and pray for her if you would. Hated to hear that. It kind of sucks. But anyway, if you could do that for me, that'd be great. Now let's go to the next day and notice what you see right off the bat. Another look at that. Okay, right about there. Okay, now watch. Watch this halo eruption. Look at that. Now that one there, I believe that was on the 28th, that probably right around the turn of the day. So it will be kind of like right here, I believe. Let's look. Yep. Yeah, there was a little blast there, but the satellite got eclipsed. You see, watch this the whole corona here get disrupted. See that right there? So that was right around the turn of the day. So that's exactly what we would expect to see, right? And that was a significant eruption. So that one's coming right at us. That one there is most likely, from what I'm looking at and what I've seen, is probably why they're saying we're going to get a G3. Okay, those other two are going to hit before that one does. And then there's another eruption. I believe that one was off the backside also. Okay, so remember, this is today. Look at that one. Halo eruption. Another halo. Look at that. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. This is something that is just, I mean, I've been reporting on this stuff for over 5 years, and I haven't been through a whole solar maximum cycle yet, but it still amazes me when I see stuff like this. And I think that that's probably a good thing, because I don't want to not feel that, you know? But anyway, let's look at the time frame here. 15. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to change the angstrom here, okay? We're going to go back to the 94, because we see flares there. Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, let's just do the 94. I could do the 131 also, but yeah. I want to see where the flare's at and get a little bit of an idea of how much it's affecting the atmosphere of the corona at the same time. So we're looking at 28 at 1527. So it would be before that. Okay, we got a couple candidates here. Okay, most likely it's that one. Watch. Right there. Okay. Now, there looked to be another eruption here too, and one up here at the same time. So I think we're probably, because if you look at the way this blew off, we're probably looking at two separate CMEs, but they happened at the exact same time, or close enough to be exact. Okay, so you got that one. Okay, let's take a little slower here. And there's one in the middle. Now, did you see? Look at this one starting to do its thing right there. Eclipse, and then boom. Yeah, so I do think we had an eruption over there, but regardless, guys, we got stuff coming, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm showing them all to you. Now look at this now. See, we're getting more information now. This is current. This is the most latest image. This is impressive, to be honest with you. It does look fairly impressive. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the 131 again, and we'll take a look at that again. But I do want to take you guys over here real quick. This is the space weather scales. What can we expect during stuff like this? I went over this yesterday, so I'm not going to read it verbatim. But we can look at having some faulty trip outs, like GFCIs, but maybe on a larger scale, like at a substation. They got to reset stuff for something that they thought was something, or the system thought was going to be bad, so it would trip out. You know, most neighborhoods now in towns, it's code to have GFCIs in your kitchens and in your bathrooms because of water, obviously. So instead of relying on your breaker box only to trip out to save your life from getting electrocuted, they make you put those GFCIs where it trips out right at the outlet, and you still have to have a GFCI on your breaker box. So you're double protected. But that's something similar is happening here. Voltage corrections may be required. False alarms triggered. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Now, surface charging, I talked about that also. It's exactly what it sounds like. And it gets really important for people that are out in space, astronauts. And I realize that none of those people are listening to me. There's just not that many people out there. So, yeah. So, anyway, it's exactly what it is. You get a charge right on the surface of metal, those kinds of things, satellites. And then you got manned spacecraft, and they really have to pay attention to geomagnetic storming and flares. Because when a storm's coming, they actually go to a specific spot inside their spacecraft that has extra protection. Because just like they don't want pregnant women flying at high latitude. Could you imagine if you're outside of our magnetic protection altogether? You're just getting blasted. Guys, the solar wind is constant, okay? We talk about it as if we get a coronal hole, right? We say, oh gosh, we got a solar wind increase coming. Most people think the solar wind's there and then it stops. No, it's 100% blowing all the time, okay? And what I mean by that, we can look at the data here real quick, and I'll show it to you, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I think sometimes, I used to do this too. Sometimes you just don't like kind of put two and two together if you're new to something like this. So as we're looking at this, when this loads, gosh, man, you know, I think when we get these big storms and stuff, I think their servers get bogged down with everybody looking. First thing I want to point out, guys, this is what I call popcorn across the board. Okay, when there's a data entry into these graphs, this one here at Discover, it's an actual dot. Okay, so when your conditions are staying very consistent, like you say you got a wind speed of 400 here, if you get 400 lining up, you know, 10 or 20 of them, it looks like a straight line, right? But when it's not, it's what I call popcorn. That means conditions are fluctuating. That's why it looks like that. And right now we got popcorn. So that's what we're going to say. Now, I'm not going to go into detail what the BZ is tonight, okay? I'm just going to simply tell you that this red line here, we look for -6. -6 or more negative, and then that makes us in a magnetic orientation to where we will accept the space weather more. If it's in the positive, it deflects it, okay? There's bunches and bunches of magnetic fields inside of each CME. So they're not all the same. So if a CME is coming at us that has the majority of positive magnetic fields, and we're in a negative position, what happens? It draws to each other, right? So that all matters, okay? And vice versa. If we're in the positive, it'll deflect it. So anyway, you got the wind speed here. Everything's very normal. Right now, this is saying 0 to 10 on the density. Yeah, it's right in the middle. Everything is nominal right now. We don't have any kind of geomagnetic storming right this second. Now, let me tell you something, though. When it's like that, okay, we want some geomagnetism around at all times. I'm just going to say that. And because the sun actually helps protect us from the sun. So if it's giving us the consistent thing like we were talking about earthquakes earlier, we can most definitely expect it to help when we get hit from a big blast, right? So with us being quiet like that, it's not like we get caught by surprise. You know, obviously it doesn't have a mind. The magnetic field doesn't have a mind. But we do get what we call compression and rapid expansion. And what that is nothing more than, let me show you this right here real quick. This is the magnetopause model. Sun's off to the left. This right here represents This is called the bow shock. That's where space weather and our magnetic field meet. That's the first point of contact. So when we get hit, we get compression, right? It'll compress it back, and then we'll win that battle again, and we'll get rapid expansion. I explain it to people like this. When I was a kid, I would wrestle with my Uncle Larry, and my Uncle Jeff. Rest in peace, Uncle Jeff. Love you, brother. Anyway, my Uncle Larry, he would always stick his hand out and put it on my forehead as a kid, and I would be like trying to get to him, right? I think a lot of us had uncles like that. But when he wanted to quit and win the fight, he didn't punch me or anything like that or wrestle me or anything. He simply just moved his arm, and I would fall to the floor, right? That's kind of what I'm talking about. We're pushing, and the son is the uncle holding it, right? So when we eventually win that battle, the son just kind of pulls back. The son doesn't really pull back, but we eventually win, and our bow shock will actually lunge forward. Okay, you'll see it. You won't even see it on this one because it'll go past this space right here. It'll go past this marker. Now we can look at shout out to my Aussies again. We can look at the Australian model, and I love it because it's very simple. Because it helps me explain exactly what I just did. Okay, this is the same data, it's just a different model. There's your bow shock. This is the satellite line. This is important to know because when this bow shock gets inside the satellite line, what's that mean? That means our magnetic field is now compressed inside there, so anything on the left side of this bow shock has no magnetic protection from the Earth. That's why we put our satellites a lot of times in the positions that we do. Right? There's a whole lot of reasons to put a satellite in whatever position it's in, but for this instance, what we're talking about here, yeah. So on this side of the bow shock, everything's open just to get blasted. Right? Now, let's go ahead and play that. And you can see the compression and expansion happening there, guys. Okay? I'll play that again. See it? And then it pushes out, it wins. Now we can go back a day, and we'll just let that run. But you get all the space weather data here too. Okay? All that data I just showed you guys here is right there in number form. Okay? There's your BZ, the red line. Right? So, hey, if the north part of a needle of a compass points to the north, then it is actually magnetically south, or the North Pole magnetically south, because they couldn't both be north and still attract. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly right. It's how a compass works. You put a needle on a magnet, basically, and then it will, if you're holding the, well, how can I say this? Yeah, whatever, depending on what, I can't remember exactly if the North Pole is negative or if the South Pole is. I have to go look, because when we have polarity flips and stuff like that, those change, right? Like each time the sun goes to a new sun cycle, guess what? Whatever was positive in the northern pole of the sun is now negative for the next 11 years. Okay, so the sunspots, and I can show you guys that. That's a great question, by the way. Thank you for that question. That's an awesome question. Let's go here, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I can explain this fairly quickly and rather well, I think. So when we look at the sun on this image, it's going to show up here in a minute, and I'll pause it here in just a second. So I'm going to pause it. These are our sunspots, right? So if you notice, you're going to get different polarities in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. How can we tell? Well, if you look at the sunspots on the southern hemisphere right now, the red is on the right and the blue is on the left. Look at this one. In the northern hemisphere, it's reverse of that. That's because of that whole reason. Right here, same thing. Now, this one here is right on the equator. That's a crapshoot when you get there. Now, you can also notice how they're starting to migrate towards the equator. That means we're progressing in our sun cycle. So when we have that termination event, when those things touch, the poles flip, and there we go. We keep moving, right? We're never really in a stalled state. We're either moving towards solar maximum or we're moving away. And vice versa with solar minimum. Same thing. Okay? It doesn't stand still, is what I'm trying to say. And there is no exact time frame. Matter of fact, now they wait and they really look at the data, and then they decide 3 or 4 months later when the new sun cycle started. They have to. They got to sift through that data and see exactly when the max actually was. Okay? So when we see these sunspots start to, really become complex, and I mentioned this earlier in one of my earlier streams, that particular sunspot we were looking at, and I'm going to take you guys back here just so you guys can see it. Okay? And let's just do it one day here. I want you guys to see this about a week ago, what the sun looked like. Okay? And I'll explain why here in a minute. Okay, you see this sunspot? You see how kind of just stable it is? There's really not a whole lot of swirling going on. Even these are very stable. They're not like really close to each other. So as time went forward, this sunspot just went off and started getting really big. It just started growing like crazy. So I'll take you guys back here to the 25th, and we'll roll, and we'll see what we get here. We'll let that load. While it's loading, I'll take you back here real quick. This is Soho. Okay, so there's that blast again. Now, I'm just going to hit start. And I don't think we have anything for the 29th yet, guys. Typically, over here on Soho, we just don't... Yeah, see, the data's not there all that quick. It's not real time either. Also, remember, this is not a movie. Okay, this is not 60 frames a second. What you're getting here, and I'll pause it, 412, the next frame is what? 24. Every 12 minutes, we're getting one image. And they stitch it together. It's like an old flip book when we were kids. An animated stick figure flip book. So, yeah. Anyway, so as we're looking at that, sorry about that, guys. I had to take a drink of my drink there. I had to, man, my throat was really dry. But here we go, right? So let me pause that. What is going on with that? Let me bring it back here. So we'll get a good progression right here. You're going to get to see this sunspot really grow. So watch what happens. And I said, hey guys, this is pretty stable right now, about right here. I even pointed it out. Now watch what happens here. See how it's just starting to like just explode out and get really busy? And now they're getting close to each other. Why does that matter? People have asked me that before. It matters because when they get close to each other, they connect. That's a reconnection point, and that causes a flare. That's why. So when you hear us talk about a complex sunspot, that's what we're talking about. An unstable sunspot, typically we're talking about the same thing. Okay? But that's what that means. So when you get the reds and blues here on this particular image, that's what that's doing. It's trying to represent that. Now, I want to say this. I've pointed out time and time again the past week or so that I was seeing things that was really resembling what happened back in May. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's happening right now. Okay, I don't want anybody to get it twisted. Hey, Aaliyah. Guys, if you guys haven't seen her icon, you need to. Best icon on the planet. Anyway, by the way, while I'm talking about this, guys, give me a roll call in there if you would. I would love to do that. You know, and guess what, guys? I tell you what. While you guys are giving me a roll call, if you get active in the chat, I'm going to give away a membership here in a minute. Okay? I'll gift a membership out, and somebody will get it. Whoever's most active in the chat is going to get it. So, that's what the algorithm, at least that's what they tell us. I'm not sure if that's exactly how it works, but that's what they say. So, yeah. Now, as we go forward here, stuff is really resembling what happened back then, back in May. Now, I don't think it's exactly the same, because it's not. But we are seeing the classic double hit, triple hit, all these things, and we got two smaller CMEs that are going to hit even before these bigger ones start wrapping in here. Okay? Bradley, what's up? East Coast Australia. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Mahaya, North Georgia. Love it. Louisiana, Kentucky, New Mexico. Positively charged versus negatively charged. When they get too close, it creates a solar flare. Exactly. Exactly. Well said. South Carolina. Sorry, curb creeper. Whatever that means. Hey, Hilly, what's up? Northwest Georgia, baby. Heck yeah. Man, you're in driving distance. We need to get together and do something, man. Earth. I love it, Jake. Jake. Love it. Hey, Miss Dragon. Are you still at home in Eastern Washington? I hope you're okay. Guys, she's been struggling with those fires out there. And I think Stephanie Munoz was in here talking about that too earlier. Hey, Bobby. Hey, Heather. Craig. Craig-alicious. Love that. O-I. Oi, oi, oi. That's right. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. IG, what's up? Mojave Desert, baby. Heck yeah. Cindy Lou. Guys, pray for my daughter, too. We got a big state competition coming up for her color guard. And she wanted me to tell you guys thanks, too, for telling her what a great job. I'm going to post her last color guard performance on my channel. You guys should check it out. It's really cool. They're high school kids, guys. They're not professionals. But, man, it really looks good. Anyway, okay. So, yeah, that's what I hope. Obviously, I think you're okay. I hope none of your stuff got damaged, Stephanie. All right. Louisville, baby. We're anybody in Louisville, Kentucky? I'm not too far from there. Hey, Ron's in the house. Chattahoochee. Or Chattanooga. Just kidding. Hey, Ron, I want to give you a special shout out, brother. Thank you for all the gifted memberships you've done. You really have, really went above and beyond. Genius by Birth has, Deep Quake, multiple others. Miss Dragons gifted to some. Kay Perkins has gifted some. Guys, when you guys do that, it doesn't fall on deaf ears. Understand that. And I do think that everybody here really appreciates it too. So, all right, guys, I'm going to do a countdown here. About 30 seconds, I'm going to drop this membership, okay? So, get active in there. It's getting ready to happen. Okay? I'm going to count it down here in just a minute. I'll tell you what, I'll give you guys 60 seconds to light that chat up, okay? So as that's happening, guys, we could get to a G4 storm because that's where I was going with that. I do think that we have a possibility of getting there with all the stuff that's going on. And the G5 storm we got, obviously that was out of the ordinary. But one of the things that made it out of the ordinary is we were all of us were underestimating what things were going on during certain conditions. Okay? It wasn't just one channel, one person. Everybody was doing it, including myself. Okay, I was so timid. I didn't want to jump out here and say any of that kind of stuff. Plus, it wasn't something that I had seen before. Right? Not the way that it happened. Just so you guys understand that. So this time, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to tell you exactly what I think when it comes to this. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to, sugarcoat it either. But I'm just going to make sure it is what I think it's actually going to be. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But, I do think we got a chance to get to a G4. And to believe it or not, guys, I think we have a chance of getting possibly to another G5. And that's just, I'm not saying that that's absolutely going to happen. Obviously, the chances go down as you move up the line here, right? So I just want to make sure you guys are understanding that, because I think G3 is a very good place to land here, okay? If they're right, awesome. I don't think it's going to come in under that, is what I'm trying to tell you. At least at its high point. It could surprise us. A lot of it depends, again, guys, on the geomagnetic fields inside the CMEs that are hitting. Okay? So, here we go, guys. I'm going to drop this, so get ready. Here we go. It's happening. Oh, gosh, I'm excited. I'm just kidding. Thanks, Kay. Appreciate you. Somebody's going to get that. I just gifted it out. Okay. Who got it? Who got it? Bill McMonagall. McMangle. I'm sorry. Monagle. Bill McMonagall. Hey, congratulations, brother. Glad you got that. You're welcome, brother. You are welcome, Bill. Welcome, welcome. That's awesome. Glad to see that. Okay. So, again, guys, you know, there's not a whole lot more I have to give to you right now. Right now, conditions are just what they are. But I can tell you that this shocked the crap out of me when I got right on here. I mean, it really truly did. So, I didn't expect to see an X-flare as soon as I got on here. Hey, Deep Quake, thank you. Thank you for another gifted membership. Love it. Love it, love it. Who got that one? Tiffley, what's up? Good. Awesome sauce. Love it. Tell him thanks. That's awesome stuff, guys. Really is. When you guys gift to each other, I love seeing that because you're helping somebody out. You really are. And also, you might get somebody that doesn't necessarily understand space weather. That's like their first or second time here. And it can help them understand because they might stick around a little longer because they're a member. I'm doing a members only stream tomorrow, guys. So please hit your bells if you haven't got that bell clicked yet, and hit all notifications. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and go back through this right here. I don't think that we have anything to worry about tonight or anything like that. Now, I will say this. We're going to go back here. And if you look at this, we are staying in a nominal position, which is good. We've got some geomagnetism hanging around, right? We don't want to be on the basement floor for a couple reasons. That going Skywalker. You know that ain't gonna go live, the Skywalker. You know that one ain't gonna go by. It's just not gonna make it, brother. Sorry. Good Lord. I can't say that I don't like your humor, but yeah, I can't let that one stay. Anyway, so we got some geomagnetism that actually could help us, right? It does help block cosmic rays 100%, right? And we'll talk more about cosmic rays on a different day because typically that happens during low solar activity. Okay, cosmic rays get in. So, anyway, you guys are killing me in there. So, with that being said, that's about the only thing that could really push us. Now, I do want to tell you guys this too. One of the biggest indicators of how a solar storm is hitting is this. Aurora. We were talking about that earlier, right? So what do we got here? Hey, Don, good to see you. Tacoma, heck yeah. Showing a little dark side on that one, haha, yeah. Got my shock top bear if things go. Yep, okay, cool. Mama J, what's up? I'm not sure if I know exactly what that is, shock top bear, Heather. I don't know. You got a heavy wrench, do you? IG, I love it. I love it. I love you guys so much. You guys just put a smile on my face every time I'm on here. Love it, love it, love it. Hey guys, tomorrow's members only. I might do a Zoom call in. If you guys want to call in, we'll do that. I might ask Killy if he wants to join, or if anybody else that wants to join, like do the whole show with me. You guys know who you are, who we worked together with before. If Trinity wants to come on with me, or if anybody else, we'll do that. Ilea, Ripper, Adam, Dex, anybody. You guys know who you are. So if you guys want to, just let me know. Hey, cul-de-sac. Nothing like drama happened, but yeah, well, there was a comment that Skywalker left that was a little on the racy side that we just couldn't let go, and IG was on top of it, man, throwing blue paint everywhere. Everybody walked out the room looking like a Smurf when IG walked in. I'm just kidding. I love you, IG. Thank you for all your help over here. Guys, get over and check out Ron over on Emergency Management Associates also. He does all the earthquake reporting and stuff, guys. So go over and check him out. Please do. Check out everybody. Matthew Shipley, guys, 100%. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do this. Let's go here. I'm going to drop a link in here, okay? Dr. Tamitha Scove, right here. She does an awesome job, guys. She just really, truly does. I've learned so much from watching her and learning from her. I've had a couple of text conversations, comment section type of thing. She's very down to earth, you know, even though she reports on the sun. But also, she knows what she's talking. She's a doctor, guys. She got a doctorate in this stuff. What the heck is on my screen all blue for? That's stupid. Okay. Let's do this. All right. So we'll go to my channel. Already copied the link. We'll go here. If this gets loud on you, I'm sorry. Nope, I got it muted. Awesome. So we'll drop it right here. This is her link to that video I was talking to you guys about. Okay? She was talking about all them flares. And a lot of them were on the backside. Okay? So if you could, guys, go check it out. Go show her some love over there, too. Her channel's way bigger than mine. And she just knows what she's talking about, guys. I trust everything that she says. It's just really good information. She's a professor at one of the Millersville University. And I'm not sure if there's very many programs around the country that do space weather broadcasting. That's what she's teaching. It's awesome stuff. So go check her out. She's got a Patreon too, and she really takes care of her patrons. Like all on top of it. Great stuff, guys. So if you want free college, go check out that video, and it's explained in a way that you don't have to have a college level understanding of every thesaurus in town. You know what I mean? There ain't a whole bunch of word garbage or word salad. She'll tell you what the word is, but then she'll explain to you what it means. If there's a word big enough that needs that. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. But back to this for one more time here, guys. We're going to watch these aurora. If it unfolds like I think it's going to unfold, we're going to see aurora down at least in the mid-latitudes. My guess is because, and let me say this again, I told you guys this my last live stream, they need to redo, in my opinion, this aurora model. And not really redo it, okay? What I'm saying is, oh wow, look at that. See? That's their forecast for tomorrow. Yeah. Okay? So what I'm saying is, down here, they'll tell you what's expected during each level, right? So at KP of 5, we should be seeing this kind of aurora. Well, what's happening is at a KP of 5, we're actually seeing aurora get down further than what this is kind of telling us it should. And it's being consistently like that. So I do think that they need to like change this a little bit. Not really the model, just change what would be expected. Okay? And so forth and so on with this. So, again, this is a forecast. Forecasts are often wrong. Forecasts typically are not 100% accurate, even like a half hour from now. So, we got time. We got some time to talk about it, is what I'm trying to say. But, starting tomorrow, listen to me, guys. I'm going to do a members-only stream, but I'm probably going to be live streaming once or twice a day on my regular channel or on the regular show here. Okay? So, please click the like and share and all that. It's going to help. It's going to help a lot. Because I want everybody here, because we got a lot of stuff going on. So we're gonna go through it together, and I'm gonna watch it, and we're gonna talk about it, and we're just gonna be real about it, right? And the next question is, somebody's gonna ask me inevitably, is this grid down? No. My opinion, no, it's not. I haven't heard anybody saying that, so thank God, because I really don't think that that's the case. Barring something else happening between now and then, okay? Now, I can't tell you what the sun's going to do in 5 minutes. right? So I just want to make sure you guys understand that. So with that being said, guys, I don't have much more. I don't want to like squirrel around. Hopefully I didn't squirrel around too much tonight. Tomorrow when I get on here, outside of the members only stream, I'm going to go straight to the space weather. And I'm going to do that every time. And then after that, I'll stop halfway and say thanks to everybody that gifted and all that kind of stuff. And then at the end, same thing. So, because I don't want to overdo it. Like I said, guys, I went back 2 nights ago and watched one of my live streams, and I most definitely was squirreling way too much. And I do understand that I'm allowed to do that, guys, from time to time when I'm talking to you. You know, how else do we get to know each other, you know? So, Skywalker, what are you doing? You forced Tilly to throw some freaking paint your way, brother. What's going on? Anyway, we're going to get off here before it gets too heavy. We are just going to get off here, guys. That did not, given what the comment, sorry, I didn't mean for that to come out like that. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and go. All right? Anyway, guys, God bless. And remember, guys, click that notification. Please share this out because I'm going to be live a lot the next few days. So, God bless. Yahusha saves. And, yeah, you can drink this Kool-Aid.